أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيد الخلائق أجمعين حبيبنا وسيدنا المصطفى الأمين بالقاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى آل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين الغر الميامين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين مهدي هذه الأمة وخاتم الأئمة وطاووس أهل الجنة الحجة ابن الحسن العسكري روحي وأرواح العالمين لترى المقدم الفداء. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن يهاجر في سبيل الله يجد في الأرض مرغما كثيرا وسعة ومن يخرج من بيته مهاجرا إلى الله ورسوله ثم يدركه الموت فقد وقع وأجره على الله وكان الله غفورا رحيما. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد.
One of the most famous cities for Shias and most sacred one is the city of Qom, which holds a special place in the Shia Mu'mineen hearts for a couple of reasons. One of which that comes to every Shia's mind in regard of Qom is the shrine of the lady Fatema al-Masooma, the daughter of Imam Musa al-Kadhim salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh. And the second thing is, of course, the famous Hawza, which is in Qom. This Hawza, of course, the modern one that exists now, it's been established in the 1923, almost, by Sheikh Abdul Karim al-Ha'iri. There was a Hawza, but not as big and as famous as this one. So he established that, and of course it's one of the biggest Hawza in the Muslim. And the third thing is, before even that, there was a virtues of the city in Qom. And of course that because of the people who resided there. Even the times of the Amawi's and the Abbasis, the city of Qom had a lot of Shia in it. And actually the majority of the Shia of the city. And we have many narrations from Imam As-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salamu alayh, and saying that in the regard of the city of Qom, Ushu Ali Muhammad salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Sallallahu Muhammad wa Saying all this, going back to my main subject, which is the passing or the martyrdom of Syeda Fatema al-Masooma salamullahi alayha on the 10th of Rabi' al-Thani. And that happened when Syeda Fatema al-Masooma was joining her brother Imam Rida salawatullahi wa salamu alayh with her brothers and nephews, and around a city called Sawa in Iran. They were attacked, they were ambushed, attacked, and all her brother was slaughtered, killed, and her nephews as well. So instead of going because of what happened and the tragedy that she saw, she said that let's move to a city of Qom, which the people of the Qom, when they heard the news, they came and brought her to the city, and she went to the house of Musa ibn Khazraj. Saying this in regard of Syeda al-Masooma, why she holds like a very special place within our school of thought and for the Shia and Muslims. You would think, Imam al-Kadhim salamullah alayh had, according to some of the narration, about 37 boys and girls. Right? Some say even more than 40. Why? They are just a handful which are very special. And Fatima al-Masooma is special, and of course she's not a Masoom, right? Even though her title is Masooma, but she's not a Masoom. She's not infallible. Of course, comparing to the Masoom, not comparing to someone like me, right? So lesser than Masoom and above the others. What made her different? Not a lot of people made it to that level of being virtuous. So even before she was born, Imam al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salam alayh, he said, a daughter of mine will be born there, and she will be buried there, and whoever visits her, he will be granted paradise. To that extent. Imam Rida salawatullahi wa salam alayh says, because she died during the life of Imam Rida salawatullahi wa salam alayh, a few years before Imam Rida. And he said that whoever visits her, it's like he visited me. He's a Masoom. And what's so special about her, that there's a ziyarah, especially for her. Any other Masoom, even, right, Syeda Zainab salawatullahi salam alayha, right, doesn't have a special ziyarah for herself. The ziyarah that is for Syeda Masooma is from Masoom. And the ziyarah of Syeda Zainab was written by scholars for you to go there, and if you don't know what to say, of course, just a tip, if you don't know what to say in any one of the shrines, do a lot of Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
That's a type of ziyarah. Anyways, so what is different about her? And she's a lady, and not the daughter of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salam alayh, which A'imma salawatullahi wa salam alayh said that Rasulullah and Amir al-Mu'mineen, they have a special place, more than the Ma'soomeen themselves as well. So what's so different about her? If you go to the ziyarah of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas salawatullahi wa salam alayh, which is narrated by Imam al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salam alayh, by the Ma'soom, I think there's 3 of non-Ma'soom had a ziyarah from the Ma'soom himself. One is Ali al-Akbar, right? Within the ziyarah of Ashura, within the ziyarah of Warith, right? We have Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas and Fatima al-Ma'sooma. If you go back, see, okay, what's the reason behind Fatima al-Ma'sooma to leave? And we know usually ladies, they are want to be in their city, within their community, next to their relatives, safe. But for her to leave all of that, like Syeda Zainab salawatullahi wa salam alayha, to join her brother, it was by the order of Imam Rida salawatullahi wa salam alayhi himself. So if you go back to the ziyarah of Imam al-Sadiq about Abu al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, you're going to find out something, that one of the virtues of Abu al-Fadl Abbas, al-muti'u lillahi wa li rasulihi wa li amir al-mu'mineen, that he is so fully submitted to Ahl Bayt salawatullahi wa salam, to the order of Imam al-Hussein. When Imam Hussein says something, yes. To the extent, like, look at what Abu al-Fadl Abbas salawatullahi wa salam, they were calling his name. He didn't even answer without the permission of Imam salawatullahi wa salam alayhi. Fatima al-Ma'sooma had that quality as well. The second thing is her knowledge, ilm, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put people above the others. If there is someone, descendant of Imam, so what? If there's someone is not a descendant of Imam, but he's alim, who will be more pious and close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the alim, is the knowledgeable one, is the scholar. So when Imam, and since even when she was very young, and that is one of the virtues of Syeda Zainab sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Imam Ali ibn Hussein Salamullah al Imam Sajjad says about her, what he says, that أنك بحمد الله عالمة غير معلمة. So you are a knowledgeable person. Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam was not at his city of Medina before. He was exiled to Basra and then to Baghdad. People came to visit the Imam. He wasn't there, and they had questions. Fatima Masooma told them to give me the question. She was very young. When she was martyred or passed away, there's two narrations in that regard. She was 28, very young. And she resided in the city of Qom just 17 days. Of course, that's not the reason. Imam Hussein Salamullah alayhi resided in the city of Karbala just for a couple of days. So she told them that, give me the questions. She answered them. And on their way back, they met Imam al-Kadhim coming back to Medina. And they told her what happened, and he told them to show me the answers. And when he saw the answers, and he said, all the answers are correct. The hadith of Manzila, the hadith of Ghadir, a lot of ahadith of the Shia theology is from Syeda Fatima Masooma salawatullahi salam alayha. So this is the second thing. The third thing, that what you notice about Fatima al-Masooma, like, is when she migrated for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يَخْرُجْ مِنْ بَيْتِهِ مُهَاجِرًا إِلَى اللَّهِ. When someone goes from his house, migrating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَرَسُولِهِ, and for his prophet, ثُمَّ يُدْرِكُهُ الْمَوْتِ, and he dies, فَقَدْ وَقَعَ أَجْرُهُ عَلَى اللَّهِ. His reward is upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this, He doesn't say جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارِ. It's beyond our imagination. Something more that we can't fathom. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the many verses, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَهَاجَرُوا وَجَاهَدُوا. Hijrah, then jihad. Was first jihad? No, it was hijrah first, then the jihad. So those are one of the few qualities of Syeda Fatima al-Masooma and virtues of Fatima al-Masooma salamullah alayha, which gives the people some idea about this great lady of Islam, and make us again, when we go to visit her, the hadith says that whoever visits her knowing who she is, right? There's one of the titles of Fatima al-Masooma salamullah alayha is Karimatu Ahl al-Bayt, right? The generous of Ahl al-Bayt. They are all generous. Sayyid Mar'ash al-Najafi, if it wasn't someone like him, maybe some people would have some doubts. Sayyid Mar'ash al-Najafi, first of all, a lot of people met him, a lot of people know him, how humble, how scholarly, how godly figure he was. He said that I used to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with special prayers and all that, to seek the knowledge of the whereabout of the grave site of Fatima al-Zahra salawatullahi salam alayha. Until I saw the dream that for a reason, right, for a special reason, that the grave of Fatima al-Zahra will not be uncovered until the reappearance of